The Chicago Bears only have 2 players who were not participating in practice today on the 53-man roster. Now, of course, that comes with a caveat. Tevin Jenkins and Doug Kramer were both placed on injured reserve, so technically they are not on the 53-man roster right now. They will both miss the first 4 weeks of the season. But as far as the other 53-man roster, the people who are speculating to be ready to go for week 1, Jaquan Brisker and Dylan Cole are the only 2 players who were out of practice today. Jaquan Brisker was stretching. He's getting ramped up. It sounds like he should be ready to go for next week. So, besides Tevin Jenkins, it sounds like the Bears are getting 21 out of 22 starters ready for week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. That is just absolutely great news. I kind of talked about it in my last video, but I kind of want to indulge on it a little bit more now because Chase Claypool has missed some time with a hamstring injury. So to hear he is back in pads is great news. To hear that Nate Davis is in pads is great news. To hear that guys like Cole Kmet and Darnell Wright are a go. They're back at practice. Guys like Tyler Scott, Velus Jones, a bunch of people were banged up, but they are back on the practice field and ready to go, and that is absolutely huge. If you've been following the Bears along during training camp, you know that Chase Claypool was one of the most prominent names who was making plays every single time he touched the field. The Bears are finally getting him back as a main weapon, and he is going to be a major part of the game plan in week 1 against the Packers. I think the Bears are going to run the ball a lot week 1. That's no surprise. They're going to pound the rock, giving plenty of carries between Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman, Roschon Johnson. We'll see who gets more carries, but nonetheless, between those 3 and Justin Fields, the Bears are going to pound the rock and set the tone. As the Bears get the run game going, it's going to open up the pass game for guys like DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Cole Kmet, and so on. But the first thing that the Bears needed was the players to be available, and right now everybody is available -1. So switching gears just a tad, head coach Matt Eberflus announced team captains Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Tremaine Edmunds, and Eddie Jackson. Justin Fields and Eddie Jackson are return captains from last season, so it's good to hear that the top 2 leaders on respective units are still leaders once again, but it just speaks tremendous volumes that the 2 biggest acquisitions of Ryan Poles' offseason, both on offense and defense respectively, are captains in the first year within the Bears. DJ Moore and Tremaine Edmunds walking into a brand new team and immediately taking command and being huge leaders on the team is just absolutely tremendous to hear, because it's not too often that new faces take over teams. And yes, I understand this is a young team. I understand there is a lot of turnover. There's a lot of new faces. I do get that. I know that had a lot to play with it. So this team can be more impressionable to newer faces. However, let's not undermine how big it is for 2 new faces, both on offense and defense, to be who you thought they were, or to be the leader you would like them to be, to justify why you would want to bring these guys in. Yes, they have to do it on the field. DJ Moore has to prove, well, obviously DJ Moore is DJ Moore. We know what we're going to get for him, but more so Tremaine Edmunds has to prove why Ryan Poles gave him $18 million a year. And overall, it's a great start to hear that they are being leaders and were voted as team captains. Another thing that I want to talk about today is how Cole Kmet signed his contract extension a month ago, and at the time it was valued as the 9th highest in the NFL. The Vikings extended TJ Hawkinson to a record-setting deal for tight ends, and how that affects the Bears, it doesn't directly, but I say that to say Cole Kmet is now the 11th highest paid tight end in the NFL. So at the time, it was the 9th highest, and now it's looking like an absolute steal of a contract that Ryan Poles was able to pull off with a front-loaded contract with Cole Kmet. So the Bears being able to retain some homegrown talent at now an extremely reasonable price. That's just good news for Bears fans to hear in general. And again, in Cole Kmet's interview, yesterday. He said that this week 1 game against the Packers is the game of games. He's excited to play. I can't wait to see him this season. I can't wait to see a lot of players this season, especially, the guys who Ryan Poles invested a lot in. Guys like Tremaine Edmonds, guys like Chase Claypool, who he traded a draft pick for, guys like DJ Moore, who we know who he is, but we got to see it. How is it all going to look on the field? All of the rookies that we drafted, Darnell Wright, Javon Dexter, and Zach Pickens, they're not going to be starters, but they're going to be rotational guys. Tyreek Stevenson, he's going to be a starting cornerback. How are these new guys that Ryan Poles brought in how are they going to be able to impact the game on week 1, day 1, the very first game of the season? It is a huge one. Lots of stuff is brewing, and it's just great to hear that everyone is getting healthy. Hopefully we get Jaquan Brisker back here soon. And overall, there's not really too much to be concerned with. It's just go time. It's time to beat that team up north. So not a lot of news coming out of the Chicago Bears today. The only other thing that is noteworthy is corresponding to putting Doug Kramer on IR. The Bears signed back Nathan Peterman to the active roster as the third quarterback. I think Nathan Peterman will be the backup in week 1 just because he is a little bit more of the veteran, but Tyson Bagent has his spot on the roster secured, and let's just hope we don't have to see either of them, because that would mean something happened to Justin Fields. So I'd rather not explore those possibilities. Let's just hope Justin Fields is going to be good to go and we don't have to see any backups. As far as Terrell Lewis, who the Bears cut, he cleared waivers. He has not signed back to the practice squad as of now, so we'll see if he comes back to the Bears. Other than that, that's about the only things that I haven't covered in yesterday's video. So if you want to hear about the waiver wire moves and the new faces on the Chicago Bears, like the lineman Dan Feeney, who the Bears traded for, or Trent Taylor, who they signed as a free agent, or the 2 guys we claimed, go ahead and click on my previous 2 videos because I went in depth on the Bears' new faces. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe if you enjoy these type of update videos that I'm bringing you guys. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Start a conversation. Do you guys agree with the team captains? How are you feeling about everybody getting back healthy? Does it excite you for week 1? I'm ready. Are you ready? Let me know. And if you haven't got your full dose of Bears, like I said, click on one of my other videos and I'll see y'all there.